Mr. President, to sponsor the mission, may we recognize the distinguished lady from Pangasinan, Iloilo, in the Republic of the Philippines, Senator Grace Poe, to deliver her sponsorship speech.
The distinguished lady Senator, Senator Grace Poe, Chairperson of the Committee on Public Services, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, hinihingi ko ang suporta ng buong Senado para prenohan ang tinakdang phase-out ng mga hari ng kalsada sa darating na ika-30 ng Hunyo 2023. The planned phase-out is yet another sordid chapter in the PUV modernization program. I can say this with certainty as I chaired the committee hearings which have generated enough transcripts to fill a jeepney. But to make the long story short, the PUV modernization program seeks to compel existing jeepney operators to consolidate and form fleets of 15 modern jeepneys which will file routes established by local government units. Each modern jeepney costs 2.8 million pesos, which will be loaned and paid out of pocket. To speed up the policy, the LTFRB unilaterally converted all existing jeepney franchises into one-year provisional authorities. It is in the most recent Memorandum Circular 2023-13, the LTFRB imposed the deadliest deadline. Jeepney operators who have not joined an existing consolidated entity by June 30, 2023, or those who fail to file a petition to consolidate by October 30, 2023, will have their franchises revoked. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the LTFRB should be reminded that jeepney drivers do not have deep pockets. The most recent study estimates that the average daily take-home pay is a meager 755 pesos. Somehow, the LTFRB still expects a gold mine of capital to the tune of 2 million pesos per unit. Hiwalay pa ang cost just to consolidate. A news article estimates that jeepney operators must put up 300,000 pesos in paid-up capital just to register as a transport cooperative. And here's the kick. The equity subsidy provided by the government is a measly 160,000 pesos, not a million. 180,000. Wala pa ito sa 7% ng bagong unit. Ginoong Pangulo, 4 na beses na nag-extend ang LTFRB ang kanilang deadline. Pero kahit kailan ay hindi naman nasagot ang mga reklamo sa programa tungkol sa subsidiya para sa equity ng mga bagong unit. To quote a recent study on the PUV modernization program, it has been too focused on vehicle replacement. Sequencing in the implementation of the PUVMP is very critical. It could have started with regulatory reform, local route, formulation and submission, and route rationalization first before embarking on fleet modernization. This would have given stakeholders better appreciation of the program, an additional grace period, and more time for the operators, drivers to prepare. To implement this program, we need route rationalization. Taon-taon, tuwing nanghihingi ng budget para sa PUV modernization, ay hinihingi natin ang route rationalization plan. But DOTR just entered the 3-year technical cooperation project with JICA in June 2022, only 5 years after the program was launched. Part of the JICA outputs is database of traffic volume as the basic information for the route rationalization plan in Metro Manila and assessment of existing and future routes of PUVs. Based on their 2023 budget submission, the route rationalization studies are still being finalized. Wala pa nga yun eh. Wala pang mga ruta na maaari nating sabihin. Bakit pinapahirapan ang mga driver at commuter kung hindi pa nga nagagawa ng gobyerno ang pag-aaral na ipinangako nito? To enforce a deadline is not only insanity but also inhuman. Hindi makatao, Mr. President. It is contrary to the constitutional directive to promote social justice in all phases of national development. It is also contrary to the public welfare as it will compound the acute shortage of public transportation modes in the country. Tignan na lamang natin ang pila tuwing rush hour, naghahabulan. Kulang tayo sa tren as the MRT3 is operating beyond capacity. The reported PNR shutdown to speed up construction of the North-South commuter rail will leave us its 180,000 daily passengers without a ride for at least 5 years. Kulang tayo sa bus as seen in the long queues even on the weekend. Pahirapan at tagaan din ang presyo ng Grab. Pero parang bingi ang LTFRB sa kabila ng paghihirap na dinaranas ng mga commuter at drivers. If the LTFRB proceeds with the phase-out, it might result to 50,000 jeeps being taken off the road. If transport groups proceed with their strike, that's at least 40,000 jeepneys off the street starting March 6. And speaking of social justice, we have a pending bill which seeks to provide a just and humane transition to the PUV modernization program. We are not against modernization. If anything, we want to make it easier to achieve. There's always a win-win solution, and that begins with a united stand from the Senate. We thus move for its adoption of proposed Senate Resolution number 507, Mr. President. Thank you.